All right. Sorry for the technical delay. Okay, I'm going to send the link to my group first. Sorry, there's a change in the link. So there is a little bit of hiccup here. Meanwhile, we have hot news of the press. We have the new CPF update, especially on the basic healthcare sum, right? So we really need to update this because this is fresh news of the press. And I also want to answer some CPF questions today because I don't think I had a CPF live stream before. And I guess a lot of people have a lot of questions about CPF live stream. And hold on, why is this in vertical form? Okay, wait, sorry, why is this in vertical? Are you all seeing like vertical or horizontal? Because I also don't know what format is this, man. This is a brand new YouTube thing. Anyway, okay. Anyway, yeah. Today got a new CPF update. Then I just want to talk about it lah. Okay. I think I make it fast so we can go on to the to the Q&A later. Okay. Okay, for those of you who are new to my channel, right? My name is Chris. I'm from Honey Money SG, and I usually talk about CPF stuff. So I've hit my CPF full retirement sum since year 2022 at the age of 30. And the reason why I'm so into CPF is because I wanted to build it for my retirement funds. And I understand that some of you may be in the FIRE movement, financial independence, retire early movement. Then you all may not really understand the whole CPF thing, like how is it relevant if I want to build. So that's why I'm also passionate in CPF education as well. All right. So today, let's explore the new CPF interest rates and, okay, maybe not the new CPF interest rates, but the new basic healthcare sum. And because, very importantly, because we are coming to the end of the year. And every year on the 1st of January 2026, the new BHL basic healthcare sum would change. And today they just released the numbers at around 10 a.m. and it's going to be 79K. And I'm going to talk about some steps that you can do to really maximize the use of your CPF and how you're going to strategize your new CPF strategy for the next year. All right, so today's presentation is very simple. I will just go through what are the exact changes or what is maintained by the CPF board. And then you can go and post your questions here on the chat, or after you're watching this on the replay, you can post it on the comments. And meanwhile, as we are watching more people streaming in, right, you all can just write down your questions lah in the chat. Okay. Starting from the first one. First one, CPF interest rates is going to be maintained at 2.5% in the OA, 4% in the SA, MA, and RA. And I know that some of you think, why you want think this one needs an announcement? Because exactly last year, if you realize, or even the previous year, we had high interest rates where CPF special account was going above 4%. In fact, at the highest point, it was 4.0 something or even 4.1%. Okay, I remember that special account has breached 4% before because of how they calculate the interest rate. So CPF board is telling you ordinary account is going to give you 2.5% interest. Special account, Medisave account, and retirement account is going to give you 4% interest. Okay, this is especially important if you are looking in this low interest rate environment. And you think about it, right? All your SSB, T-bills, fixed deposits, they are giving less than 2.5%. So if you are okay to, either top up your CPF or contribute more voluntarily to your CPF accounts, right? Getting 2.5%, 4% is a pretty good deal, right? That is if you believe in the CPF system. Of course, there is the other camp that don't believe and then they want to extract everything out of their CPF. That one is not the target audience, all right? So we talk to those people who are confident of the CPF system. This 2.5%, 4% SAMA and RA will be quite important, especially you are thinking where you want to park some idle cash or either that for your tax relief system. Okay, and as usual, for members below age 55, you will earn 1% additional interest on your first 60,000 of CPF combined balances. Okay, I think I've went through this like a couple of times. Like if you don't have a combined balance of 60K in your total CPF balances, right? It is one of the lowest hanging fruit because you get additional 1%, which means that if it's in your OA, it will be 3.5%. If it's in your SA or MA, it'll be 4 plus 1% equals to 5%, correct? And that is very attractive. So especially if you are a fresh graduate, you have started earning some income, and you haven't hit the 60K, and meanwhile you're still looking for some places where you can earn like 5% return. I think if you believe in the CPF system, I think make it 60K at least, so that you can get that 1% interest. But do note now, for OA, there's a cap of 20K to get that 1% additional interest. SA and MA, there is no cap, which means that if you exceed maybe 30K or even 40K in your SA and MA, all of it will get the 1% additional interest. But if your OA is like 30K, right, only 20K of it will be accounted for the 1% interest. I know this is quite confusing, but I already done up the previous video on this. You can go and search CPF OA 20K honey money. There will be a full detailed explanation on that lah. Okay, but for the rest of us, really not much changes. For those of you who are below 50, for those of you senior members who are age 55 and above, you have an additional account called the retirement account, RA. And that is when your special account will be closed at 55. Okay, and this time round, you'll earn 2% additional interest on your first 30K of combined CPF balances and an extra 1% on the next 30K. Okay, what that means is that, in your previous age group, 54 and below, you only earn additional 1% on first 60K, right? But once you turn 55 onwards, since you have the new RA, correct? Then your first 30K will earn 2% more. Okay, and then the next 30K, the same, will earn additional 1%. So they are like helping you to build more interest income on your retirement funds, especially when you turn 55, retirement income is more important. So that is not changed, okay? No change at all. They just want to affirm it. HDB concessionary rate interest from 1st January to 31st March. Wait, I increase the size. Okay. HDB concessionary interest rate from 1st January to 31st March will remain unchanged at 2.6%. Okay, so for those of you who are taking HDB loan, it is always 0.1% above the CPF OA interest rate. So that has no change. If CPF OA interest rate was to increase, then this HDB concessionary interest rate will also increase by the same amount lah. But okay, so for those of you who are new to my channel, I recently just refinanced my HDB loan, correct? So I refinanced from a HDB loan to a bank loan. The reason is because right now the market is giving around 1.something%. I think the lowest point is around 1.5%, which is like more than 1% lower than what HDB loan is giving you. So I think that if you want to refinance right now, is the time to start looking. And especially as interest rates are falling, or have fall so much. Like last year, it was still around 2 to 3% per annum. So if you're on a HDB loan, or even for private property, you are having a private bank loan of around 3 to 4%, I think now is a very good time to start looking at and compare different mortgage interest rates. And for my partner, not sponsored here, is Cashew lah. You can go and use the Cashew. I recently done a HDB versus bank loan video. Yeah, you just go and search on YouTube HDB loan versus bank loan honey money. You can go and find my comparison. Then there you can get the resources. You don't need to even talk to the sales agent. Okay, there will be very transparent rates to compare the mortgage rates available in the market right now, and it's very competitive. So if you are thinking to refinance now, I think it's a very good time. Okay, now for all the people who have come, 60 over of you, who is now live, you all came for this news, right? Because everyone kept asking over the past few weeks, like, what is the new basic healthcare sum for 2026? And now it has been announced. For members below 65, their BHS will be $79,000 for year of 2026. But for those of you who turn 65 in 2026, your BHS will be 79K and will not change for the rest of their life. Okay, what this means is that BHS is a fixed number for your cohort when you turn 65. So for those of you who turn 65 next year, your BHS basic healthcare sum number is 79K. For those of you who will not turn 65 next year, your BHS will continue to increase year over year. Increase by how much? That is determined by the government by every December, which is this year for 2025, they announce it today, 15th of December. Usually they announce it by the middle period of December. So every year, you need to wait until December for the new announcement. So why is this very significant? Is because basic healthcare sum is the maximum amount you can have in your Medisave account. So if you have any contributions towards Medisave above the basic healthcare sum, it will not be channeled to the basic healthcare sum. It will be transferred out to either your SA or your OA or your RA. Yeah. Is it RA? Okay. I know SA or OA lah. RA, that one depend on whether you are senior or not. Okay. Later you confirm for me. Okay. Right now, special account, Medisave account and retirement account interest rate remain unchanged at a floor rate of 4% per annum from 1st to 31st March, which means that every 3 months they will review the interest rates. They compare it to the bank and the Singapore government securities. Okay. They have their own set of calculations. I went through this in a previous video, like why the CPF interest rate not increasing and then people complaining when all the bank accounts are increasing their interest rate. But the truth is they have their own set of calculations on how do they want to determine the interest rates. And it's not controllable. It's not something that we as normal citizens can control. So we can choose where we want to put our money for the voluntary contributions. But mandatory contributions of CPF, there's nothing you can do other than to accept it. Okay. Interest rates for CPF, OA, and HDB concessionary interest rate, this one remain unchanged, 2.5% on your OA. And then because your HDB concessionary loan rate is 0.1% above 2.5% or the CPF OA interest. So that will be 2.6%. No change. Okay. But I think 2.6% per annum right now is a little high comparing to bank loans. So for, like I said, you can consider if you want to refinance. Okay. So all these are just like details which usually I went through in my YouTube videos already. But it just gives you more specific context of how you should navigate the changes, especially if you are around the 60K combined CPF balance, then should you do an OA to SA transfer? Because let's say if you have 30K in your OA and then your other SA and MA is 30K, then you realize, my OA has 30K, only 20K accounted for the additional 1% interest. Then the 10K wasted, right? The 10K, should I go and transfer from OA to SA just so I can, earn that additional 1% interest? I think it's a good move to me. But to others who are quite skeptical of CPF or, they just do not like to transfer OA to SA because it is irreversible, then you have to reconsider again whether this move is good for you. Okay, so for those who just come in, right, maybe you also don't know what is the basic healthcare sum about. Okay, I repeat again. Basic healthcare sum is the estimated Medisave savings that is expected for the basic subsidized healthcare. So that's why it's called basic healthcare sum. It's not meant to be advanced healthcare sum. Basic only, cover basic medical facilities and care. Okay, and it's adjusted yearly for members below age 65 to keep pace with rising healthcare consumption. And as you know, medical inflation is very rampant in Singapore. Our doctors, our facilities, our services, our staff all needs to be paid higher. Every year the drug also inflate. Okay, not just your food prices, your housing prices, or your transport prices. Medical costs also increase. So from this year, 75.5K, it will increase by another 3.5K to 79K next year. Okay, so that's around 4.6% increase if I calculate correctly. Yeah. So what that also means. Okay, I think that's the end of the article already, right? Okay, wait, I see whether anything I need to cover. Members can make. Okay, so if your MA is below the basic healthcare sum, you can still voluntarily contribute up to the basic healthcare sum. But if it has reached the basic healthcare sum, then you can no longer contribute anymore. So all these will flow to your other CPF accounts. Okay, and you can still withdraw from an MA to pay for approved medical expenses before topping up the MA without having to top up your MA. Okay, so what that really means is that MA account is the only account that you can really use it when you have not reached the retirement age of 55. That's why I say MA is always very useful. You can use it to pay for insurance premiums, or you have CareShield Life, you have Medishield Life. All these, they have insurance premium deduction, right? So once you have all these deductions coming in, going out, then you can voluntarily contribute to a Medisave account, which is one of the avenues for tax relief, up to 8K per year for yourself. And if it's your parents, it's another 8K. That's your loved ones, including. Okay, I think that is the main article for CPF already, very short only. But today I just want to extend this session to talk about question and answers. Like what questions you have for CPF, especially on basic healthcare sum. Because every year I have to do my CPF strategy video already. And I already have my draft script ready. Once I update my BHS numbers, then I will share the CPF strategy. So while you all are, maybe asking your questions, over 80 people here already online, thinking of what question you all want to ask a CPF, I share a bit of my annual CPF strategy lah. Okay, so what I done last time, right? Especially when I hit BHS basic healthcare sum, because once you reach basic healthcare sum, you cannot do top up already, ma. You cannot do voluntary contribution to your Medisave. So every year, 1st of January, when the new basic healthcare sum is raised from this year 75.5K to 79K next year, then you have a gap, right? 3.5K. You can go and voluntarily contribute to your Medisave VCMA 3.5K. Then you will get 3.5K of tax relief for your next year income. So that's the hack or strategy. Okay, it's not hidden strategy. It is very well known one. So this also applies if you have hit the basic healthcare sum this year, plus you also reach your full retirement sum. Because remember, if you hit your full retirement sum in your special account, you cannot do retirement sum top up already. Okay, because the annual interest of 4% in your SA will add back to your special account, correct? So that means that your next year FRS will be covered by the annual interest that is coming in. So there's no way for you to do RSTU anymore. And I'm saying this from someone who has hit RSTUs, from someone who has hit the CPF FRS full retirement sum in SA since 2022. Yeah, so I have not done any RSTU anymore. But VCMA, I still can do. Because anytime there's a deduction in your Medisave account, or when the basic healthcare sum has increased on the 1st of January, that's when you start to do it. Okay? So I hope that you all understand now. Basic healthcare sum, even though the interest come in by 31st December, your Medisave account also has 4% interest, right? The interest will come in. But, and I tell you, when the interest come in, it will exceed the current year basic healthcare sum. So this year, the basic healthcare sum is 75.5K, right? So if you calculate like 4%, if you max it at the start of the year, that's around 3K of annual interest in your MA. So this 3K of annual interest add to your MA will become 75.5 plus 3K, give you 78.5K. And you'll see 78.5K by 31st December. But on 1st January, something magical will happen. Okay. This additional 3K interest income from your MA will be transferred to either your SA or your OA, depending on whether your SA is full to FRS or not. Okay. So don't kanchong. I know some of you are worried. I see 78.8K leh, so close to the 79K already. Jialat, how to do VCMA? Don't worry. Don't kanchong. Next day only, okay? By the afternoon, I assure you, once CPF board has come back to work, okay, they're not working on 1st January. Once the CPF board, the system go live, you will see your interest transfer out from your MA. Then you can go and do your VCMA again. Okay? This one I will highlight again when my new CPF strategy for 2026 video come. Oh, we are close to 100 already. Oh, very good. Today attendance. Okay, now keep asking your questions. I will answer your questions, okay? Okay, starting from the top. Okay, hi everyone who said hi to me. Thanks for having this session update. No problem. Yeah, I've been waiting to do this already. I'm ready to strike when the BHS is increased. Okay. Used to top up my MA to the max on 1st Jan. Now that I'm not working, I am not sure if I should top up MA. This one is a very simple question and answer. You think about it, why should you top up your MA? Okay, for different people, there are different reasons. But for my fundamental reason to top up MA is because I want to use it for tax relief. CPF top-ups is one of the avenues where you can get some tax relief. And why do you want to get tax relief? It's because you have taxable income. And why do you have taxable income? It's because you are working in a job, you have employment, you have income, and you want to reduce that taxable income, right? So if you are not working, you don't have an income, then there's no incentive for you to do any kind of tax strategy like topping up your MA. So if I don't have a job, I will not top up my MA. Yeah, that's simple. Okay. Is this something I could do? Shield SA. Yeah. Shield SA from RA unit trust before 55. Have the funds go back to OA, withdraw from OA. Okay, let's break this down part by part. First of all, I need to announce to you that the shielding strategy is already gone. Okay. SA can no longer be shielded. SA will be closed at 55. This is a fact. Shield SA from RA. Okay, so there's no way you can shield this. Even if you put any investments using your SA, once you have liquidated it, it will go to fill up your RA first. And once your RA has been filled up to the FRS, the excess funds will flow back to your OA. Yeah, get it? So SA does not exist anymore after 55. Whether you want to do investments or not, you can. Okay, the reason why we do SA shielding in the past is because when we liquidate our investments from the SA portfolio, right, it will go back to our SA to get 4% interest, correct? But now the SA account is already closed. So there's no way for you to do any form of shielding because it doesn't exist. Yeah. So there's no point to do any kind of shielding strategy anymore. And yes, I'm quite familiar with the shielding strategy because I have a video on CPF shielding, which generated a lot of views and people were upset when the SA is closed. But this is something that you should expect, especially when CPF has such a long runway. I mean, from your current age that you're watching, maybe 10, 20 years or even 30 years down the road, things would change. And you need to expect that such changes would mean a change in strategy lah. Okay, if I answer your question, okay, please help me scan this QR code. Okay, you all see this QR code on the top left? Yeah, you help me scan this QR code can already. There's nothing, you don't need to sign up for anything. You don't need to like this video. You just help me scan the QR code can already. If I help you answer your question. But if you think I never answer properly or it's not a good answer, write some more, okay? Tell me how I can help you better. If I top up at December, does the 4% works for the amount of in MA or the interest calculate based on the progression of CPF contribution? Okay, so here is how CPF interest is calculated and accumulated, right? If you top up this month, December, it doesn't matter because by January, CPF will then take the lowest balance in the previous month. So they see, December, what is your lowest balance? Maybe 100K in your SA. Then they will take the 100K. Even if your 30 days out of 31 days in December have maybe 120K, but just one day in December you have 100K, they will take the 100K for computation. Then they will accumulate month by month, taking the previous month the lowest balance. Then month by month, they add it up. The total interest they will credit to you by the end of December every year. Okay, so that's how CPF calculate the interest. So I look back at your question. If I top up in December, does the 4% works for the total amount in MA or the interest calculate based on? It doesn't matter. What matters is the lowest balance. What is the lowest balance of your CPF account this month? This is also why when people top up their CPF, right, they try to do it before any form of deduction come in. Because once any form of deduction, maybe you pay for insurance premiums or pay for your housing or whatnot, right? Then they decrease the lowest balance of the month. Of course, that is just min-maxing lah. It's just a very small difference only. Don't mind too much. Not something you can control. Okay, just join. Hey, thank you for joining. Okay, for those of you who just joined, 123 of you online. You all have any CPF questions, you all just ask. Okay, today is an open discussion. We talk about the basic healthcare sum being 79K next year lah. Yeah, we just covered this on the news. And actually, it's a very short update because there's not much changes. Interest rates didn't change, 2.5% OA, 4% SA, MA, or RA. Okay, retirement age still the same until they announce new changes. Okay, keep the questions coming. And meanwhile, if I answer your question, please help me scan the QR code here. Here. Yeah. For those in the vertical view, somewhere here. Okay. I share YouTube have this thing, horizontal view and vertical view. So I don't know what view you are in. Depending on whether you're using your mobile phone, your TV, or your computer. Okay, it's very, very new. Okay, so I'm trying to get used to it. Okay, Ryan asks, I just want to move my monies from SA to OA at 55. Therefore, I use the term shielding loosely so you understand the moving of funds. Okay, so the thing is, right, SA monies can only stay in SA. And once we reach 55, all these SA funds will first move to RA. Okay, get it? Move to RA first. SA is a priority to move to RA first. But you know, RA only need to take up to FRS, right? The full retirement sum. For example, this year is 213,000. Next year is 220,400. So RA will want to take all these funds from SA first. And if not enough, then they will take it from the OA. Correct? This part clear, right? But if your SA has excess, maybe your SA has 250K, then next year RA form and they take 220K and $400. Finish, right? Where does the excess 30K go? It will go to the OA. Okay. So when you're talking about this shielding or the moving of funds, I know what you're trying to say. So you're saying you invest these SA funds into maybe a unit trust. Then after your RA is formed, you liquidate your SA funds, right? So you're thinking, will it go to the OA? Then the answer is it depends on how much you have. Because your RA, the basis is it needs to have the FRS first. If it doesn't have enough from the FRS, it will take funds from either your existing SA or your OA. I know a bit confusing, but RA purpose is to take money to fill up to the FRS. And if not enough, it will take whatever it can. Okay. How did you hit FRS so early when you can only top up 8K a year? Okay, this one is a very good question. In the past, before I do YouTube, prior 2021 and before, the maximum CPF tax relief is not 8K per year. I remember because on that very first year that I do YouTube, I need to announce this very huge change where they did a huge ramp. They did a huge turn. Like last time, you can do voluntary contribution to your Medisave up to the BHS. No 8K limit. You can even contribute 30K per year if you want. But that is if it works in your favor. But there was all rules before 2021 and below. So I was doing those like 20K, 30K VCM. Okay, not 30K, maybe 10K, 20K per year of VCMA. Now it's only 8K per year from 2022 onwards. So I started this CPF thing like since 2016. That's why you can see that my trajectory of CPF projections is very different. So because last time don't have 8K cap. Last time is 7K RSTU cap plus up to BHS for VCMA. I'm sure those of you who are old enough in the workforce, you will know what I'm talking about. Okay, does it make sense to top up SA for tax reduction? Not sure what the change last year was. Okay, first of all, does it make sense to top up? I answer from the broad CPF perspective. Does it make sense to top up your CPF for tax relief? The answer is it really depends, okay, on your perspective towards CPF, because you know that there are many ways to do tax relief, right? Some people prefer SRS, some people prefer CPF. And in CPF, they can either choose the SA or the MA, correct? So there are three main ways for you to, use your own liquid cash to reduce your taxable income. So does it still make sense or not? After last year SA account closure news came about. It really depends on what is your perspective towards CPF. To me, CPF is a late game retirement fund. And to all the FIRE people, right, they all say, yeah, don't put so much money in CPF because I may need these funds when I early retire. But you realize that retirement has early retirement and late stage retirement, right? Late stage retirement means like maybe in your 70s, 80s, then you start spending the money. Yeah. So in your earlier part of retirement, maybe in your 50s, 60s, you can still use your liquid fund portfolio. Then wait till you're 55, you can unlock some CPF already above the FRS. 65, you can unlock the CPF life payouts. So it really depends on how you want to see CPF. No? Not all your retirement funds need to be liquid one, right? Though some of it can be the later part of it. Some of it you need to access now. So liquidity, I would say it really depends on your own strategy. You have to decide for yourself. Okay, so what would you advise overseas Singaporeans, those who have permanently left SG to do with their CPF? Does voluntary contribution to SA still make sense? Okay, when you're overseas, it also depends on how is your payroll like. Because I have worked overseas before, I understand. You see, are you on Singapore payroll, Singapore company payroll, or are you on foreign company payroll? Some of you are sent to overseas as an expat, right? But you all are still on Singapore payroll, correct? That means your taxable income is still in Singapore. So it still means that it makes sense for you to top up your CPF for you to do tax relief because you're still taxed on a Singapore basis. But if you're not on an expat package, which means you're not a Singapore headcount anymore, you're totally 100% foreigner in the foreign company, then it may not make sense because you have no incentive to top up CPF. Okay, so that's my general advice. If you're expat headcount, Singapore headcount, but you're working overseas, still drawing a Singapore salary, I think it still makes sense. But if not, then it doesn't. Okay? Let me scan QR code if it works for you. This here. Or if you don't know how to scan the QR code, you can click the description. There's the IBKR link. Okay, I know that tax relief is calculated based on calendar year. Does it mean I have to top up my NMA by December this year for 2025? Yes. Simple answer, yes. But you don't do it last minute, because last minute the CPF website will close. Okay, not say close It will hang. It will be very slow. So don't do it on the last day, especially close to 12 a.m. Just do it when you're ready Today can do already, December. With the 8K tax relief cap, does it matter whether the 8K go to RST or VCMA? This one, I have an answer before. In the past, it makes sense to do VCMA first because of the shielding strategy of reserve funds and unreserved funds. Yeah, but now it makes less matter. Doesn't matter as much, but it also depends on whether you want to use your MA for your insurance premiums first, like CareShield Life and MediShield Life, or you prefer to just buff up your retirement SA account, special account. Okay, the difference is that VCMA has a cap at BHS. So maybe you can only top up like 3.5K with the new BHS, and then the remaining 4.5K, you could go RSTU. RSTU, the cap is at FRS, which is a much higher cap. FRS this year 213K, next year 220.4K. So there's a longer runway. If you do VCMA first, your basic healthcare sum is reached first. Your contributions to your MA will go into your SA first if your SA is not at FRS. I think I'm using too many short form. But I think you all understand now, for CPF. CPF got too many abbreviation already. It moved OA to SA. Yes, I did. But I only did so after I bought my BTO. Like I signed my purchase agreement already. Yeah, I know. Correct. I don't need so much OA. So I transferred the excess OA to SA. Yeah, that's what I did. And I did so knowing that it's irreversible. Because in the short term, right, I really do not need so many OA. So I use it OA to SA to help me bump up my SA to FRS at 30. That's what I did. if the full retirement sum cap has already been reached, does it mean that I can start receiving payouts after turning 55, regardless of whether I'm still working or not? Okay, let me read again. If FRS reach, does it mean I can start receiving payouts after turning 55? Okay, so it depends on what you mean by payout. If you mean that can you withdraw the excess amounts above FRS? Yes, you can. Because remember, your special account, once you reach FRS, it's autopilot already. Every year, the interest will come in. Annual interest 4% will add on to your SA. Once it add on, it will exceed the next year FRS again. So it's an ongoing cycle. It's literally the eighth wonder, the compound interest thing. You know, right? Compound interest. So SA, you hit the FRS 1 year. You will perpetually hit the full retirement sum. Okay. And that also means when you turn 55, when your retirement account is open, it will first absorb the funds from SA first, right? And since your SA is perpetually above full retirement sum, you definitely have excess above the full retirement sum. And that's not even counting the mandatory contributions you get from your employment, So you can take out all these funds. These excess funds after the SA closure will go into the OA first, correct? The OA, ordinary account first. That's where you can start withdrawing from your OA from 55 if you have hit the FRS. Yeah, so if you mean payouts typically mean another thing. CPF Life, we call that payouts because it's a monthly income thing. That's from 65 onwards. But if you're talking about just withdrawing money from your OA because of the excess funds from CPF, FRS, right? Then yes, you can withdraw. Only amounts above the FRS. Yeah. I can pay my upcoming BTO in full using OA. Do you recommend to transfer as much as possible to SA before taking key and HDB loan? Okay. As much as possible. Depend on the amount. Okay, I tell you what I did, okay? Because everyone's situation is different. So here is what I did when I was like you, waiting for my BTO. I know how much my mortgage payments are every month. So I set aside like maybe 20K in my OA. Why 20K is because it can cover almost like 1 to 2 years of mortgage payment plus some buffer. And 20K is the floor, the minimum you need, right, to invest your excess OA into CPF related investments. So I kept 20K in OA. I transferred the rest all to my SA already, because that will help me hit the full retirement sum earlier. Okay, knowing that this is irreversible, so that's what I do. So 20K is what I kept. Then the excess I transfer to SA. 20K is also the minimum you need before you start any CPF investments. And now my CPF is still healthy, and I still pay my monthly mortgage every month. Especially with your employment inflow still coming in, then no problem. Okay? So that's what I did. So do what you will with that information. Okay, even if I have FRS, I want to keep minimum in CPF. Because government always have a lot of top-ups for people less than BRS match incomes. Okay. So here's the thing. There's something called match retirement savings scheme, which government want to encourage people to, bump up their CPF to at least the BRS level or something. Next year, there's also like the match Medisave savings scheme or something like that. Something new one. That one I haven't covered. But it's really for all those underprivileged people who may not have like work and employment before. Their CPF balances are really low. I would say that generally, if you're working in employment, likely you would reach BRS at least if you have full-time employment. And the match retirement savings scheme, even for low-income people, is in the past, right? Like when my family member is low income, considered low income, still not eligible, because the CPF just keeps accumulating from the government or CPF board plus the employment contributions. So don't even talk about if you have FRS, confirm not eligible. All this match retirement savings scheme and match whatever scheme is to help those underprivileged, not to assist us people who are well able and having a good income. Okay, that's not the point. The point is to help the lower privileged people. Okay. Any strategies to take out the most, if not mean in CPF? It's kind of contradict, right? You think about it. You are able to hit FRS, which means you are in a financially stable position, which means you don't need any government scheme. So the government will not set up a scheme to help those who are privileged, like you and me. Okay. So I don't think there's any way lah. And even if there is, I don't think it is public like this that I can share. But the truth is I don't know. Okay. Not say I want to hide anything. It's I don't know. Okay. Wow, now we have 131 people online already. 131 people. That's a lot. Okay. If y'all got no question to ask, can I just request y'all to help me scan this QR code using your phone? Open the camera app. Just scan. No need to sign out anything. Okay. Why scan is because I'll get a little bit of tips lah. No cost to you. You don't need to put in credit card details. Okay. Not a scam or what. You are less evil than I am. I'm considered quite okay already lah. I've met people who are really, yeah, not as nice lah. Let's just put it this way. Okay, 134 of you there today. Wow, record high. I think CPF really gathered a lot of interest from you all. Okay, for those of you who come in late I show a bit what they go through. Okay, basically, I went through this like CPF announcement where they just say CPF interest rate maintained 2.5% OA, 4% SMRA. Okay. And then all this you all know lah, 1% additional interest in your first 60K, additional 2% interest on your first 30K for those 55 and above, and then additional 1% on the next 30K for those 55 and above. HDB loan, no change, 2.6%. Basic healthcare sum is going to change. If you turn 65 next year, it's going to be 79K and fixed for life. If you're not 65 years old next year, it will continue increasing, but next year it's still 79K. Yeah. That's it. Okay. Actually, I think every year, they just copy the same template. Then only change the BHS number good enough. The rest of this interest hardly change one. Okay. So that really not much for the announcement. It's more of how you want to strategize your VCMA. Because 1st January when the BHS increase, you all really need to hurry up and go and top up your VCMA before your employment contributions come in. Because once your employment contributions, especially your MA, come in from your employer, then you have less amount to top up your Medisave account to BHS, correct? You want to top up 3.5K, then you better do it earlier. Especially some of you receive bonus, variable bonus commission for December one. Then your January paycheck very huge. Sorry, not January paycheck. Your January contribution, your contributions for December paid in January is very huge. Then you loogie all your cap gone, all the increase covered by your increase in commission and bonus. Just for your audience, you need to get CPF income in, because SkillsFuture up to 3K allowance, take that into considerations. Okay. Yeah, I think SkillsFuture is very relevant for those who are 40 and above, because most of the courses are subsidized. For those 40 and below, 39 and below, SkillsFuture, you will need to pay a much higher fee. Oh, okay. Kevin asks, I know it's a question you may not have an answer since you're so young, but have you thought about whether you'll top up to ERS when you are 55? The truth is I haven't thought about it. Why? Because things can change. Even ERS numbers have changed from 1.5 FRS to 2 FRS. Last time it's 1.5 times the FRS only. Now it's 2 times the FRS. Yeah, so I think being still 20 years away from 55, right? More than 20 years away from 55, right? Right now, I still think FRS is a good baseline. FRS is a good milestone to hit. Whether you want to hit BRS or not, that is your own personal choice. Especially when you haven't hit 55, there's no way you can confirm that. I'm definitely going to go for ERS. Because things will change along the way. Unless you're telling me next year you 55 already, then you have to make a decision. No. Now, ERS, what is it good for? It's good to capture longevity risk. Let's say if you are really healthy, you can live to 100 years old, then ERS is definitely the answer. Why? Because you have income for your entire life. You can literally die with zero. And you can get 3.3 to 3.5K with ERS this year, based on this year ERS. And if you can live with this 3K number, right? Plus you still have other investment income coming in. That means you're set for life already. You can literally die with zero if you have no descendants to pass down. So I would say it really depends at what age group you are in right now. If you're in your 50s and 60s already, then you need to take a closer look at how much you're going to spend every month for retirement. Then you see whether ERS is good for you. If you have FRS, pledging property would allow withdrawing until BRS. But if actually withdraw until BRS, it all means that CPF life payout will proportionally be lower, right? Yeah. It's natural, ma. You think about it. FRS is the baseline, right? Then BRS, you have BRS is half the FRS, which means that it's approximately half of what FRS is paying out. Now, ERS, even though it's 2 times the FRS, it is not 2 times the payout, slightly less than 2 times. But the number keeps changing, okay? There is no like fixed formula. You really need to go and use the CPF life calculator, estimator, whatever. And you realize that no one has committed to a figure on CPF life payouts because it changes, especially with inflation and lifespan of people across Singapore. CPF 102K isn't even a ceiling, tested and proven. On what case? On what case? If you're a single employment versus double employment, of course, that is different. But today's discussion is not about this. I know what you're talking about. Still Future pay you 3K income per month for 24 months. Is this something that can even be shared? I don't know. Is this something 3K per month? That's like unemployment income from other countries, I don't know, man. If BHS is full, then excess flow to OA, SA at what ratio? Okay, that depends on your age group. Okay. Recently, I updated my CPF allocation table. Wait, I show you. I posted it on my Instagram. If you haven't followed my Instagram, please go and follow me at honeymoneysg. I know some of you older one never play Instagram, but please support. Wait, I show you all my Instagram. Let me present my Instagram. Where? Okay, wait. Okay. You all see my Instagram? Can right? Wait. Haven't add to stage. Instagram. Okay, so here is the table that I did. CPF allocation. You can see, right, the table. Okay, so what this really means is that it depends on what your age group is. If you are 35 and below like me, your OA, your total employment contributions 37% every month, right? Is split between OA, SA, and MA. 23% go to OA, 6% go to SA, 8% go to MA. So if your MA is filled, right, which means your basic healthcare sum is reached, then this 8% will first flow into your SA. Okay, ignore the RA first. RA is for people above 55. So 8% plus the 6% will give you 14% in your SA. We call that supercharge, or I call that supercharge. Although I know a lot of people will not agree it's supercharge, but let's just call it supercharge. 8 plus 6 gives you 14% in your SA every month once you hit the MABHS. Now let's say your SA already hit FRS, correct? So your MA now, this 8% cannot flow to SA anymore. Where does it flow to? This 8% will flow to the OA. Total, 23 plus 8, 31%. So MA will have no more contributions. I mean, the contributions will flow out, not say no more. Either become 14% SA or 31% OA. And that number will change with the age bracket you are in. I presume those of you watching one probably older than me one, or 35 and above. So you all look for your own age bracket. Go and follow my Instagram if you want to screenshot this in high definition. Okay, Honey Money SG Instagram. This one is the updated one for 2026. And if you are above 55 to 65, do you know next year you have additional contributions or not? This one new one I just updated. There's going to be changes. I think it add a total of 1.5% from both you and your employer lah. Go to my Instagram, follow, then screenshot. Okay. Okay, a lot of questions already. Wait, I come back. For age 69 years, where should I top up to gain more and anytime I can withdraw from OA? Why you want to top up and then withdraw from OA? Usually people top up to RA is because they want to increase their CPF life payouts lah. But if you want to withdraw from OA, you want to use it like a bank account, the only way and legitimate way is that you still have a housing loan. And then you do voluntary housing refund. Correct? You do voluntary housing refund, right? Then you fill up the gap of the OA ma. Correct? Then OA help you gain 2.5% every year, correct? Then since your RA is already at FRS, you can withdraw the excess. That's the legitimate way lah, by the way. But don't do this just for withdrawal lah. If we have 70K in MA and on 31st December, we have annual interest approximately 2K being paid by CPF into NA, does that mean we can only top up 7K to MA? Tax relief max 7K on 1st Jan to hit BHS of 79K. Okay, wait, let me read again. So you have 70K in 31st December, then your annual interest credit, right, becomes 72K. Then next year, the BHS cap is raised to 79K. That means your gap is 7K. Then it's correct. You only have 7K gap to top up because your interest will stay in the MA. When does your interest move out of your MA? Only when you have reached the existing current year BHS. Like your current BHS is 75.5K, which is the 2025 BHS, right? Then you will get transferred. If not, you will just fill up to the current year BHS first of 75.5K. Next year is 79K, up of 3.5K. Okay, Kitsura says, FRS, BRS every year increase. Yes, same as death and taxes. Depending on CPF for retirement wouldn't work in 10 to 20 years. Work for current retirees though. Yes, CPF should not be your only retirement plan. But CPF can be a fundamental or a basic foundation for your retirement plan. Okay? Let's not mistake that CPF should only be your retirement plan. Okay? NTUC UTAP is more valuable than SkillsFuture. Okay? I'm not familiar with this lah. 3K per month under SkillsFuture training allowance, not illegal, above 40 though, that's why I need to capture your CPF contribution. Oh, cool. But it's only for those people 40 and above. Okay. I mean, I haven't read about this, so I'm not sure. But if anyone has do content about this, whether they wrote an article or do a video about it, I don't know, even Mr. Lu may have mentioned it. It may be a legitimate way. I don't know, man. But yeah, good to explore lah. After 55, would you recommend topping up OA to RA to reach to reach ERS or to invest OA at higher return? What would you choose? Depend on your risk appetite. Totally. Okay, because for people who really don't know how to invest or they're very scared of losing money, losing capital really ERS is a good solution for them really. But if you have the investment risk appetite, like you know how to invest and you still are okay to take risks when you are above 55, when people should be downsizing their risk and preserving their capital, then go ahead lah. How I invest when I'm right now at 30s, right, will be very different from how I invest at 55. Because right now, 20s, 30s is your best time to accumulate the capital. That's why you're more aggressive during your 20s and 30s. But in your 50s, I don't know. Because I haven't reached 50s. I cannot answer. What would I choose? I don't know, man. Maybe I would choose a safer path that like I want to preserve my wealth. I don't know, man. It's the answer for yourself. Unfortunately, the CPF Life calculator calculates when we are 55 the amount not enough 20 years later due to inflation. Yeah, I think regardless of any form of retirement fund calculator, you must always account for inflation, which is why uh, which is why CPF Life payout, they also have a different thing, right? Like basic plan, standard plan, and escalating plan. Then the escalating plan put in like what 2%. But you must always factor in your own inflation. Okay. Either that or you make up the rest with your other investment funds. CPF volunteer top up to loved ones can include young kids? No. Okay. The answer is straight no. Regarding explanation, I already have a video on this. You go and search. Top up CPF loved one honey money. Okay. Okay. If I answer your question, please help me scan this. Where? QR code. Here. Here. This one. Help me scan this QR code. Okay. If you're watching on mobile phone, it's here. Okay. Or you help me click the IBKR link on the description can already. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Tolong. Not easy. Weekday come here do live OT, you know. Stupid to be 10 on skill future training course if you need to pay few 10K of cash. Study up to 12 months and not guaranteed to get a job at the end of a training course. Yeah, nothing is guaranteed in this life. Doesn't mean that you are more skilled or your more education means you get a better job or even a better paying job. Really have to see luck sometimes on. Since basic healthcare sum is raised from 75.5 to 79K, I assume inflation for medical cost component alone will be 5% year on year. Okay, this one I don't know. I mean, it's reasonable, right? Medical cost 4 to 5% inflation per year. And I don't know how many of us are actually visiting the clinics less after COVID? Or are we all visiting the clinics or hospital even more after COVID? I felt like COVID has been this transition shift period where either you get less sick, you become healthier because you all went through COVID, right? Then you all know, hey, really must take care of our health. That's why you become more cautious of everything. You eat healthier, you exercise better. Or some of you go the other way one. Like COVID really damaged your immune system until last time I don't visit clinic so many times. Now I keep every month need to visit. I don't know which one are you? Did you all feel better or healthier after COVID or worse? SRS versus SA versus equities, self-investments for people in early 30s. Okay. I am in my early 30s. Let me answer this. I always believe the fundamental thing is that you keep your tax at the optimum level. Why? Because as an ex-chartered accountant, I am very particular on taxes. Taxes is confirm must pay one. So if you can reduce to an optimal level, depending on your income, you reduce that one first. That one is confirmed. Okay. And SRS, you use it as a tax relief thing, right? You can still use it to invest what? Not a problem. Now, once you cover the bases, the defenses, right? Then you think of how you want to do with another thing, your excess funds, what you want to do with it. Of course, I invest my own cash as well because my excess cash flow, I invest through IBKR, which is exactly, this link. This is where I can start to talk about it. This will lead you to IBKR, which is my preferred broker. And they have the lowest FX fees. And a lot of seasoned investors, they also use interactive brokers because, it's one of the cheapest and they have the London Stock Exchange, which you can buy your UCITS index funds 15% dividend withholding tax instead of 30%. I'm sure those of you who invest, you all would know what I'm talking about. But if you all don't know, it's okay. You just can. Because it's very challenging to answer questions on CPF, especially, last time I talked about CPF, nobody want to listen to me. They see me, guy, early 30s, late 20s guy talking about CPF. You sure you know what you're talking about? Boy. Then I show the CPF balance. Then today I'm here. And this year, I moderated the CPF Sydney panel as a moderator. So all these industry CPF experts. Quite fun. Okay, can help to top up family members' CPF, retirement accounts, Medisave account, can get tax deductible. Yes, up to 8K per year. Okay, some of you mistaken. You all think your parents need like 8K and below income. Parents upwards, no need. Okay, sideways they need, like your spouse, your siblings, they need to earn less than 8K, then qualify for tax relief. But parents are your parents, your grandparents, parents-in-law, grandparent-in-law, you can top up to 8K, Medisave account or retirement account, or even special account if they are below 55. And it's not tax deductible, it's tax relief. Okay. My husband is 63 years old now. Okay, now what time? 10. Okay. MA is 75.5K, RA is 233K, OA left nothing. So got our Pasir Ris BTO flat. So MA still top up. Okay, let me reorganize this question. Your husband, 63 years old now. MA 75K, 75.5 lah, max ready BHS. RA 233K. But you just got your BTO flat at 63. I think the priority now is to make sure your retirement funds can pay your BTO flat. Because usually people at 63 years old, they start to retire already, no more job. But do you have enough funds outside of CPF, like your cash or your investments? Is it enough to pay the monthly mortgage or not? Yeah, because HDB maximum loan 25 years only. So you just got your BTO flat, you want to pay until 88 years old. I also don't know if you can mortgage until so many years there. Usually people at this age, they fully pay off already, especially BTO, because yeah, once you old already, you should have a lot of funds now. But I think your priority now is not to top up MA unless you are very high income. Your priority is to make sure you have a job to, or enough retirement funds to pay for your BTO flat at this age. Okay. Wow, 153 of you already. Wow, today attendance really talk on. Thank you to you all. Next time I talk about CPF more, then you all will come. Last time I talk about all the other thing, no people come on. But anyway, 153 of you, thank you. If you're really nothing to do, or you all just ask your questions in the comments or the chat session, or click the like button, I don't know, you all can scan this QR code. Okay, especially if I answer your question already, and you think it's a good answer, you help me scan the QR code. Not easy for 30-year-old people to teach you all about CPF. Okay, I think close to 1 hour already for this stream, and we have 150 plus of you. Okay, I share a bit more about CPF since this year I covered a lot. How many of you want to see the CPF allocation table again? Okay, this one I do myself not AI generated. Just that every year I update this. Okay, so next year I'm going to turn 35. Okay, wait, I remove this question first. Next year I'm going to turn 35, which means my age bracket is going to go to the 35 to 45 years old. So my OA is going to be 21%. SA going to be 7%. MA going to be 9%. Okay, then if I reach BHS next year, that means my OA is going to get supercharged to 30%. Correct? Because supercharged MA, BHS, SA, FRS, this 9% go here, 21% become 30%, correct? 30%, if let's say I'm at the CPF salary ceiling, 30% of 8K is how much? 30% times 8K is 2.4K per month going into my CPF OA account. That's assuming I have a CPF salary ceiling. I'm not saying I have. Okay, so 2.4K. 2.4K. Let's say if you contribute 1K for your mortgage payment, that means you left with, okay, let's say half 1.2K for your mortgage payment, 1.2K gone. The other 1.2K, you can then use it to invest, right? Then how you want to use it to invest there? This one is in another video already, CPF investment, which I use poems. Okay, so that's how you want to strategize your CPF after supercharging. Like my SA nothing to do already, cannot do RSTU, but every month keep getting the contribution. My MA, if max out at BHS also cannot do anything. So it all will go to OA. That's when you need to start off what to do with your OA. But don't anyhow go and buy ILP plan from your insurance get cycle. You want to invest, you invest. You want to insure, you insure. You don't mix insure and invest, okay? Like that, half-half, jialat. Don't. Just don't. Okay? Okay, Hui say thank you. I think you say thank you multiple times already. I will ask you to say multiple times welcome to you. Okay? No problem. Just help me scan the QR code can already. Okay, we go back. Last few questions already. We're going to end very soon. 10 o'clock already. I also want to rest. OA 25K. SA 54K. MA 44K. 31-year-old. Top up SA or MA. Wow, I like your question. Really like 30 years. Like short and sweet. Top up SA or MA? If you ask me lah, I will top up SA. Last time I would say top up MA first, but now I say top up SA first. Why, right? Because I really don't want to supercharge. I don't need to supercharge. Last time I supercharged. Why? Because I want to increase my number of unreserved funds for SA shielding. But now no more SA shielding. So I reserve funds for what? Sorry, I mean I'm unreserved funds for what? I might as well have the highest opportunity to top up. And yeah, I will choose SA lah. But that's me. You can choose MA, no problem. If you don't know what's the difference between reserve funds and unreserved funds, right? Reserve funds means it's reserved for the retirement account, which means cannot be withdrawn. It will form part of your CPF life, what do you call that? Premium. Yeah, then every month after 65, you will start withdrawing from your CPF life, right? Yeah, so that's called reserve funds. Unreserved funds means what? It will not get transferred unless it is not enough. Unreserved funds means that you can go and withdraw from either your OA or last time can withdraw from SA. That's why you want to increase the unreserved funds. Okay, but all these too cheap already. To keep it simple, if you ask me SA or MA now, I will prefer top up SA. Yeah, that's a simple answer. Can we're going to close already. Still got 133 plus of you. Thank you. Okay, thank you to Yen2536 for scanning the QR code. Okay, hope you all have help. CPF. CPF don't pay me one. Every year, I talk about CPF, they never work with me before. Okay, the only time I work with CPF a bit is during this year's Sydney Personal Finance Festival, where I moderated the panel of CPF. So there's a speaker from CPF, and then from Endowers and from Providence. So I'm the moderator lah. I'm not the contributor of the chat. Okay. Yeah. They are professional. I'm not. I'm just a random YouTube person. Okay. I can moderate them quite good already. Because you must understand the context first. Okay. Yeah, I think next time I should talk more about CPF lah, but only when there's bigger news. CPF, I think, draw everyone's attention. Anyway, my next video on CPF, I'm probably going to talk about the CPF strategy for 2026 already, which will cover a lot of today's content, especially on the basic healthcare sum. Some of you kanchong one. 31st December, you all will think, hey, why my CPF MA interest never transfer? Jialat leh. Hey, this honey money bluff me leh. No, okay, you wait until 1st Jan afternoon. It will come. Don't worry. Okay, ma? Can, right? Thanks, Chris. Look forward to the next one. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, y'all, for participating. Today's crowd quite good. Okay. Before you all leave, help me scan the QR code first. Can. And then, meanwhile, if you are watching the replay after this live, I want to wish you all like a good end to the new year. We are coming to Christmas very soon. Now you can hear Chinese New Year song coming up from Malaysia side already. And then next year, the Chinese New Year period is the end of February. Okay, so yeah, I know some of you are taking leave already, clearing leave already, 15 December, but I will still be working. Okay. I still got some clients to manage through the end of the year. I'm not flying anywhere for the rest of December. I will take a break on January. That's where you start working. Then I take a break. That's the life of a entrepreneur. People rest, you work. People work, you rest. Okay. CPF is getting more and more difficult to understand, especially for old people like us. I agree. CPF was never easy to understand. It's just that, can you imagine like 10 years ago when I started looking at CPF, and then back then, not so much content online. I only got blogs, And all these super hard to understand eh. And last time no AI to explain for you one. You need to ownself read and then ownself go and decipher. Sometimes the language a bit ambiguous one. Then you also don't understand. Then you ownself try, then you, like that. Like that. Nowadays, better already. You all got Telegram group to join. You all got videos to watch. You all got articles to read. Then nowadays, CPF also got make video for you all. But I understand that it's still a hurdle lah. So sometimes I try to see all this information, then I repackage it, display on my YouTube channel, so easier to understand. Okay, can right? 可以. If when reach 55 years old, SA will transfer to RA. If opt for BRS, the balance fund will be able to withdraw. Yes, yes. Okay, good news. I already have a basic retirement sum video already. Just that I haven't released it. I did already. I'm going to talk about the BRS because last year I talked about OA, SA, MA, full retirement sum, whatever. Basic retirement sum I haven't talked about. Yeah, but the video is ready. Okay. Don't worry. Once you reach basic retirement sum, plus you pledge your property, you can withdraw the excess above the BRS. And some of you have misconceptions about BRS. You all think like, means I cannot sell the house, meh? Means I lock the house. How? Okay? No, okay, you can still sell the house, but just that you'll go to form your FRS first lah. But we go through more in the BRS video. Wait for it. What is the QR code for? You scan already, you know lah. Okay, but okay, to answer your questions, just in case some of you think it's scam, okay, it's not. It will link you to interactive brokers. So this is a broker platform that I use. They will pay me for, every visit. I bring in new clients to them, they will pay me lah. Okay, you don't even have to sign up. If you're already an existing user, you scan only. There's nothing you need to do. There's no need to put in any details or credit card or what. Okay, it's just their way of compensating me for driving traffic to them. And it's also a service and product that I use lah. Interactive brokers. Okay, I know today a lot of seniors. Don't scared. I've been in YouTube for close to 5 years already. I will not play my reputation, use my reputation to go and do this kind of hideous stuff. Okay. How to reduce tax rate further? I've topped up 15.3K to SRS. Have you topped up your CPF? Have you maybe talk about parents relief? Have you claimed that? Have you topped up your loved one's CPF? Do you have any causes that you can claim for? Yeah, there are a few things lah, but usually SRS and CPF are the things that you can do for yourself rather than for others. I'm going to release my tax relief video also. Usually December, I have a lot of videos to release on all my strategies. Yeah, keep a lookout for it. Basic retirement sum is just to meet the basic expense, excluding rental. Better aim for full retirement sum with other passive income. Agree. Yeah, but I know some people really are very big on property one. Then they just aim basic retirement sum. Then they take the excess plus they pledge the property. I mean, no right or wrong lah. You do what you like law. Correct. Some people really prefer their monies outside of CPF, which is nothing wrong. But you need to be responsible for your own retirement lah. Okay, we are coming to the end. My name is Chris Chong. This is Honey Money SG. Today we went through a lot on the CPF. The news just come out. Basic healthcare sum is going to get increased to 79K next year, which also means your window of opportunity is coming up on the 1st of January. If the BHS is increased, that's when you can do your voluntary contribution to Medisave for tax relief purposes, especially when your special account has reached the FRS. Okay, so today we went through this insightful section and then answered some CPF questions. Yeah, and then, I mean, CPF is quite popular topic among our senior members also, especially if you are reaching 55. So next time, if CPF got any more news to cover, I will do a live stream again, especially the hot breaking news. But meanwhile, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please go and subscribe. My channel is Honey Money SG. Whether you're watching this replay, I do post a lot of CPF content, especially when I reached my FRS like 4 years ago, close to 4 years ago. Okay, reaching a 4-year anniversary already lah. Okay. And if you're watching this when you're driving, in your gym, you're cooking, I wish you all the best of luck to end the year of 2025. Next year, 2026 will be a better year. And wish you all good luck, good health, especially CPF. We must live a long life, okay? So we can enjoy our CPF, CPF life payout. Every year, every month come in for life, okay? That's the motto of CPF, addressing a longevity risk. Okay, nothing to do. Scan this QR code before you leave. And yes, I'll see you all on the next live stream. Okay, good night. Thank you everyone for joining. Okay, thank you for coming. Next time you'll come again. Okay, don't just see CPF then you'll come. Please lah. I got other topics also very interesting one. Okay, see you all. Thank you. Goodbye.